Hey, what's up guys? Abysswalker Koty again, and here we are back at the Far Cry 3 map editor, and I'm going to be showing you guys the first map that I created on this brand new editor, and it was a learning process really. And this is a larger map, and I'm going to take you around on foot, but I'll tell you about some of the things that I learned, some of the things that I liked, and some of the things that I disliked about this editor. And I'm first going to start with the dislikes because because I do believe this editor is a few steps below the previous editors, and that is normally because in the Far Cry map editor and in the Far Cry game period was that you were able to drive vehicles and everything like that. And they completely took that element out of this game because they went for that whole sellout, let's do Call of Duty type gameplay mindset that a lot of games are taking now because of how successful the Call of Duty series has been. And I do believe that Call of Duty series is largely becoming the death of gaming as a whole, because it's just creating this whole generation of mindless game creation that just, you know, they're taking steps back instead of taking steps forward. And another thing is that they gave you all these cool features and stuff, like you can add characters and stuff like AI in these maps, but you can't do anything with it. You know, it's like you put these AI characters on there and stuff, and I can understand why some people wouldn't want like AI characters in a multiplayer set, because you know they obviously can kill you, and that would get frustrating. And but if you're gonna put AI in the game, why can't I make a like campaign style map that I can publish and people can go out there and, you know, it's like an extension of the game essentially. Like you can make creative things. That's one of the best things about having a map editor in your game, is that there's an endless selection of maps and just creativity. You know, if you didn't want to play the same map twice on Far Cry, you could. You could easily do that. You could go on, download a different map, and play a different map, you know, just constantly changing scenery and everything, you know. And one of the aspects that comes along with that is that that brings in, you know, a whole different crowd, and that crowd has been around with the Far Cry series since Far Cry Instinct's Predator, and I was one of that crowd, and that was a largely successful game, you know. And something that happened along the way, like Far Cry 2 got better. It was great map editor, a lot of leaps and bounds forward and everything. And then what happened here is they took steps back, and I'm going to explain why. A, it is very hard, and it's generally impossible to get a game on one of your created maps unless you have a list of friends that you can personally invite to come play your map with you, because of how they set up the player match options, which is very disappointing, very disappointing. Because what you used to be able to do in Far Cry Instinct's Predator and Far Cry 2 is you could start a game on your map with a reasonable amount of people. Sometimes I'd start by myself, and people could join in progress, you know. And that was essentially how you got your game started. Like you could be playing with a group of, like, maybe say 2-on-2, and then somebody would join, it would assign them a team, somebody else would join, assign them a team, and then before you know it, you had a full server. And they took that away from this game, which I have no idea why. It baffles me. I hate when I see a game series that I enjoy playing take steps backwards, and they took large step backwards. Can't talk now. Large steps backwards because they're trying to model their game after this whole Call of Duty mindset era of gaming that we're in right now, and I really cannot wait for this era to end. Cannot wait. It's taking away from the creativity of developers and everything else, because to make their game successful, they have to appeal to that group, because it's such a large group, and it's just, I call it the frat boy demographic. Like, they get back their their brains are fried from maybe tough classes in college or something, and they just want to do some mindless shooting, you know. And yeah, so this is what it leaves us with: no vehicles, no real use for the AI system in the editor, and so with that being said, I'm going to end my negative rant about the map editor, and I'm going to talk about a few of the positives. Things that they did do is that they added new features, like I said in my previous video. Waterfalls is a really cool feature. They enhanced the graphics. You have more templates. You can, if you remember in the previous Far Cry map editors, creating your own vegetation could sometimes be like a whole task in its own, really, because you could put in one tree at a time, turn it, sync it, make it look exactly the way you want it to. And now they gave you this whole system of collections that you put them together, and they look good. They look great. They actually do. I did say the graphics look much, much better, I do believe. And another cool thing is the different levels of water you can add. Like, you can have the base level of your ocean, essentially, which I have on this map. And you can also set a different template of water that can be raised, so you could have like a lake on top of a hill and stuff, which is awesome. And they give you a lot of skins that go over that water too. You can essentially make a little puddle that looks like a large amount of blood. You can make cave water. You can make dark, clear, blue, red. I think there's sulfuric acid actually, which is cool. But I mean, it doesn't do damage to you if you go into it, which is weird. I had a pretty cool idea for that, but then I found out that. And then, here's another great thing about this. Check this out. Developers just completely overlook a lot of this stuff. Like, you can walk right through this. Like, it baffles me how much, like, this game had to have been hurried along. It must have had to have met deadlines and stuff for them to simply just overlook so many things that they've overlooked in this editor. And also, the texture of things sometimes is a bit strange, because certain pieces will pop in and out of, like, just completely disappear at one step, and then you take a step closer and they completely reappear. If you've fiddled with the editor, you've obviously probably seen this, and you can understand the frustration that comes with having that, because a lot of the pieces are cool and you can't put them in large maps, because obviously there's going to be a vantage point where you can see where that object is from far away, and it's not going to be there until you walk up close to it, and then it just mystically springs into existence, just manifests in front of you, and it's just completely strange. So that's another thing. I guess I went back to negatives. I didn't mean to. That's something that our brain typically latches to, is speaking out against the negatives, you know. Everybody's a critic. But this is Town Square. I guess I haven't really been telling you guys anything about about the map, essentially. I guess what you're seeing is just face value, me running around. But so I'll go ahead and start speaking about the map now. But this is down there's the actual shipping port, which is one of the bases in the gameplay. I really wish there was still Steal the Sample. I mentioned that in my other video, and I'm going to mention it again because I believe it's significant. They took away one of the greatest game types they have. And here's another stupid never mind. I'm not going to continue to complain. It's me playing it, so I'm going to take you down to the shipping port. We're going to look around real quick. But I'm going to give you a quick review of what we were at. We started in the little fishing port, little fishing village. We went up, we seen a little World War II base, went down to the temple. Across was the actual main part of the map, which is up in that, tucked in between those two mountains, which is the town and the little, I call it a military base. And here we are down at the shipping port now. And this map is large. As I said, this was the first map that I created, and I created it with full intentions of the typical Far Cry gameplay we've come to love and enjoy, which is getting in vehicles, driving around, having boats going through the water, shooting at you, patrol boats, everything. And I found out the hard way that you can't have vehicles in your map, which is it's beyond me. It is beyond me why they took that out of the game. You know, I would really like to talk to a developer in this game and ask them why, and I guarantee it's because they're marketing towards that Call of Duty group I've been speaking of. And here I am falling from a distance. Apparently I broke my thumb. Gonna fix that. That's another thing. Every time you fall, it seems like you break your thumb. You'd think you'd break your leg or something. But I guess, you know, if you broke your leg, that you're not really just gonna pop that back in place. So I guess that's why they make it your finger. Yeah, could you imagine you fall, you break your ankle, and you just snap that back in place, you know? So we're just gonna run around, look at some of the stuff real quick. But this is that road I was speaking of that I was hoping that you could drive around on and get in some vehicle combat, but you can't. So this road has virtually become obsolete, but I had already created it, and then I found out the hard way after I completely created the map and tried to publish it that you can't have vehicles on it. So there was no sense in taking it out. It was already there, and you can walk around it. It's just a long way. It is a long way. Very, very big road. And something else you'll come to notice in a lot of my maps, I take a lot of detail on my mountains and stuff. I like the whole scenery to look good. And so this is a quick look at everything again, and I thank you guys for joining me and looking at the first map I created on this editor, which is titled Shark Bait Pass. I was hoping that maybe I could have sharks swimming around in the water since they give you that option, but you can't. Thank you. Thank you. And then yeah. Another thing about that hotel over there too, I think I'll go back over there, I'm not sure. But not sure if I have time. Is that you can get on all three levels of it. I made it so you can climb up to the roof. There's scaffolding that you can jump onto, and you can get down inside the different various levels, and it just adds perspective of overlooking the town square, which is one of the capture points for, I forget what the game type's called, but if you play this game, I'm sure you know what it's called. I just cannot, it won't come to me right now, but yeah, I am. Here I am, I'm looking at it. But yeah, here's the ladder to get up top. Over here's another ladder that would bring you down to the first level. Second level, I guess you would say. Gives you full access. You can come up here, drop down onto this scaffolding, and there's also another way in. So, alright. I'm going to leave it here, and I will say if you like what you see, and maybe you would like to try it out, you may send me a friend request on Xbox 360. My gamer tag is Abysswalker Koty, all one word. If you would like to try it out, go ahead, hit me up, and I'll see what we can do. I've had a few games on this map. It's pretty fun. But as I said, if you like what you see, go ahead, search Shark Bait Pass. The publisher will be X, A Fallen Hero X, my alternate gamer tag. And I'll leave it here. Thanks for watching. Take care, guys.